Have you ever felt forgotten, as if God stopped listening to your prayers while everyone around you seems to move forward effortlessly? What if I told you that it is precisely in this silence that He is working stronger in you than ever before? It sounds paradoxical, but the discomfort you feel right now is the clearest sign that you are part of God's chosen ones. In 2026, the year of victory, everything that was invisible will be revealed, and you will understand that every challenge had a purpose. Before moving on, comment here, "I trust the process." Leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's coming. There is a silent moment in the life of God's chosen ones when everything seems paused, as if the world hit the pause button just for them. While others advance, celebrate, and reap, those in this stage feel left behind, even when doing everything the right way. This is when the heart tightens, the mind questions, and spiritual awakening begins to stir. It's not envy, it's confusion. It's not weakness, it's exhaustion. And curiously, it is at this exact point that God working begins to act more profoundly. God's silence, for many, feels like abandonment, but for His chosen, it's often a sign of preparation. People pray, seek, insist, and nothing seems to happen. Comparisons become a daily trap. Others who don't try as hard succeed, doors open for them, while you remain in place. But God's purpose rarely follows human impatience. Silence is not absence, it's strategy. It's God organizing internal structures before external victory. Those who live this often whisper to themselves, "Does God speak to everyone except me?" Though painful, this question reveals something powerful, a hunger for meaning. And this hunger is a classic sign of spiritual awakening. In 2026, the year of victory, many will realize that the period in which they felt forgotten was actually the foundation for what was to come. God doesn't ignore the chosen, He hides, matures, and prepares them, which directly connects to a common mistake almost everyone makes in this process. Many believe being chosen means having an easy life, doors always open, and immediate results. This is one of the biggest traps of human thinking. They forget that God's chosen go through silent trials, invisible tests, while the world thinks they simply can't succeed. Those who think this way miss the value of the process. In truth, every challenge, every weight is like a divine laboratory, preparing the ground for God's purpose to flourish. Another common mistake is interpreting closed doors as abandonment. "Why do I try so hard and nothing happens?" they ask. But closed doors are not barriers, they are protection. Imagine a gardener removing weeds before planting precious flowers. God works the same way. He delays certain victories so nothing harms what is being built inside. This simple concept completely changes the perception of those going through silence and waiting. The truth few understand is that God doesn't delay promises. He delays you so as not to destroy the purpose. Seeing every delay as personal failure generates anxiety, frustration, and discouragement. However, recognizing this transforms suffering into learning, patience into strength, and silence into wisdom. It is at this point that the chosen begin to understand the value of the invisible, paving the way to grasp why God works in the unseen, even when no one is watching. God rarely acts visibly because He knows character is built away from the spotlight. While many seek external signs, God's chosen experience internal processes that shape patience, resilience, and faith. It is in this silence that true spiritual awakening happens, and it is where God working becomes more perceptible, not through the eyes, but through the heart. Those who learn to see the invisible understand that every moment of isolation is actually preparation for something greater. Isolation, for the chosen, is not punishment, it's a tool. In the space between closed doors and apparent stagnation, the mind strengthens, habits align, and intentions purify. How often have people regretted rushing, seeking results too soon? God uses the invisible to align every detail of His purpose within the person, preparing not just external achievements, but a maturity that will withstand future trials. Even when it seems that nothing is happening, everything is being carefully orchestrated. Every tear, every night without answers, every doubt is part of the mold God uses for lasting success. This understanding creates trust in the process and calms the anxiety of those who feel forgotten. It is precisely this silent preparation that leads to the realization that 2026 will be the year of victory, a harvest period for those who remained steadfast in the unseen. The year 2026 comes as a turning point for God's chosen. It's a period of transition and maturity, where what seemed stagnant begins to take shape, but still requires patience. God working this year removes distractions, people, and dependencies that once occupied unnecessary space. It's like a sculptor chiseling piece by piece to reveal a hidden masterpiece. Those who understand this do not despair, because divine timing never fails. In this process, every obstacle, every closed door is an opportunity to grow internally before growing externally. The chosen learn to prioritize what truly matters, value principles, and become emotionally independent. It is a silent period, but full of meaning, as God working in the unseen shapes versions of the individual not yet ready to receive what He promised. This inner refinement prepares the ground for the next stage of the journey. What God will do in you in 2026 requires a version of you still under construction. It's not about speed or haste, it's about quality, resilience, and alignment with God's purpose. Those who remain steadfast now will see that isolation, difficulties, and silence were in fact essential preparation for victory. And it is precisely this awakening to the process that reveals the signs of God working in you, something few can see immediately. The signs of God working don't always appear dramatically, but those who pay attention notice subtle changes that transform life. Heightened emotional sensitivity, discomfort with old habits, and a constant hunger for purpose are clues that something profound is happening. Those who feel these changes know it is not coincidence, it's divine alignment. Spiritual awakening shows that every challenge faced had a purpose, preparing heart and mind for the next level of fulfillment. Loneliness, even when surrounded by people, is another classic sign. God's chosen begin to notice that old companions, distractions, or patterns no longer serve them. Repeated cycles break, and habits once unnoticed now feel uncomfortable. In this discomfort, silent growth emerges, preparing the individual for external achievements. Recognizing these signs allows each moment of unease to become a preparation for God's purpose to fully flourish. Then comes the question that directly connects with the viewer. How many of these signs are you experiencing right now? It's an invitation to introspection, a call to recognize one's invisible progress. Each symptom of change confirms that 2026, the year of victory, is approaching, bringing reward to those who stayed steadfast. And this perception opens the path for the next step, what to do when it seems nothing is happening, turning waiting into conscious action. When everything seems still, God's chosen learn that the greatest victory is not in what is seen, but in what is built internally. Remaining faithful to principles, even without applause, is an act of courage and faith. Avoiding shortcuts or desperate actions preserves the essence of God's purpose. Small daily habits like consistent prayer, reading uplifting texts, or reflecting on decisions strengthen character. Each silent step is a brick laid at the foundation of something extraordinary. Patience becomes the greatest ally in this period. Those who give up early never see the full fruit because the process requires consistency and trust, even when the world seems indifferent. Simple actions like helping someone without expecting recognition or investing time in personal development make all the difference. Silence becomes fertile ground, and God working reveals His power in subtle but mighty ways, preparing for the next moment of victory. The chosen learn to value invisible progress, measuring success not by external results but by internal growth. Those who remain steadfast understand that every challenge, every weight, every discomfort is part of the mold God uses to deliver something greater. And it is precisely this stance that connects directly to those who have thought about giving up, showing that pain is not an obstacle, but refinement. It is time to realize that every effort, even unseen, aligns with God's purpose. If you have thought about giving up, know that you have come this far for a reason. Every challenge faced, every painful wait was not in vain. God's chosen go through refinement, not punishment, and it is in this silent fire that character is shaped. The pain you feel now is proof that God working is preparing something greater. It is a reminder that God's purpose is never lost, even when everything seems dark. The truth is firm yet comforting. God does not invest so much in someone who will not use what they receive. Every tear, every moment of loneliness is a tool for strengthening. Those who remain, even tired, discover the difficulties were tests to show resilience, faith, and alignment with spiritual awakening. It is a call to look inward, recognize self-worth, and trust that 2026, the year of victory, will bring the harvest for those who did not abandon the process. Do not be mistaken. Giving up would waste everything already built in the unseen. Every silent moment, every closed door, every challenge faced is a chapter of your God-given purpose being written. This awareness opens the way for the final action, recognizing that you are part of God's chosen, and even if you feel forgotten, the invisible work He is doing now is shaping the victory to come. It is time to prepare for the final call. If you feel forgotten, remember, God works strongest where the world does not see. Every challenge faced, every silence felt is part of the divine plan for your growth. It's time to recognize that you are one of God's chosen, and every effort does not go unnoticed. This is the moment to reflect and affirm, I trust the process, understanding that the invisible is the foundation of the victory 2026 will bring. Now it's time to act consciously. Comment below what you're experiencing, share your progress, and inspire others who also feel God's silence. Give a like to reinforce your commitment to your growth, and subscribe to the channel to keep following content that strengthens your faith, God's purpose, and spiritual awakening. Remember, every small action today produces extraordinary results tomorrow. And don't stop here. Explore other videos on the channel, absorb each lesson, and apply what you learn. Every reflection, every insight is another step in building the strongest version of yourself. God is shaping you in the unseen, and the approaching victory is the result of the silent work few can see. 2026 will be the year of victory, but it depends on you staying firm and aligned with God's purpose. Remember, what you learn today is not just to watch and agree, it's to apply. Ask yourself, am I recognizing the signs of God working in me? Am I remaining steadfast even when nothing seems to happen? Every challenge faced is a step on the path of God's purpose. You are one of God's chosen, and the victory 2026 will bring depends on your courage to never give up. Now, reflect. What habits can you change today to be ready when the invisible becomes visible? What will you do to align with God's purpose while the world still does not see? Think about it and start acting now, even in silence, because consistent action builds extraordinary results. And if you want to keep growing, subscribe to the channel, Turn on notifications and don't miss any video that will strengthen your faith, spiritual awakening, and path to the year of victory. Comment below, "I am ready for God's purpose," to show that you will apply everything you learned today.